Okay, folks, we're going to go over combining like terms today. So first we need to know what the heck a term is before we even get started. So a term or terms are parts of an expression or an equation separated by addition signs only. So what that means is when we see subtraction, we're going to have to make sure that we do keep, change in order to make all of the signs addition signs. So we need to utilize KCC on subtraction. Okay, so like terms are types of terms from an expression or an equation that have the same variable, so both m's, both n's, and same exponent. Okay, so that means something like m squared and m squared would be like terms, but m squared and m would not be like terms. Okay, constants are terms that have no, or that do not have a variable attached. Be variables, no variables attached. A coefficient is just the number part, so we're not listing variables, of a term that has a variable. So in the term 2x, 2 is the coefficient of that term. Okay, remember with coefficients, the coefficient is not a term itself, so if we're listing terms, we don't list coefficients as terms. When we are listing coefficients, we do not write the variable when we're asked for those. Again, before we move on to identifying like terms, we need to make sure that we remember to keep, change for all subtraction signs, so that they can become addition. Let's look at the first example together. So we are going to identify terms, like terms, constants, coefficients in this expression, and then we're going to talk about simplifying the expression. But before we do that, we need to keep, change. So we're keeping the 2x. We're still keeping the plus 3 because that was an addition. I see a subtraction sign here. So we're keeping the 3 before it the same. We're changing this subtraction to an addition and changing the 4x to a negative 4x. I see another subtraction here. So we're keeping the negative 4x the same. We're changing subtraction to addition, and we're changing 8 to negative 8. I'm now rewriting the plus 6y because I don't need to keep, change that since it was already addition. All right, so when we're listing the terms, remember terms are separated by addition symbols. So I see 2x in front of this addition symbol, and then 3 after that addition symbol. Then I see another addition symbol, and then negative 4x, so negative 4x is the next term. Another addition symbol, and negative 8, that's the next term. And then another addition symbol, and 6y, that's the next term. Now we want to look at like terms. So again, like terms are same variable and same exponent. So 2x and negative 4x are like terms because they have the same variable x and the same exponent 1. X to the first is the variable I have here. I don't see the 1 for the first power because it just means x. We also have 3 and negative 8. And you're probably sitting there saying, but wait, they don't have a variable. Well, that's true. They both don't have a variable, so they both have the same type of variable, which is no variable. So 3 and negative 8 would also be considered like terms, okay? The constants are 3 and negative 8 because they have no variables attached to them. And then the coefficients are the numbers in front of the variables. So 2 is a coefficient. I would not write 2x. 2x is not a coefficient, 2 is the coefficient. Negative 4 is the coefficient in front of x, and 6 is a coefficient in front of y. Remember, do not write variables. And we're not going to write the 3 and the -8 because they don't have variables attached to them. Now, to simplify, what we do is we add the coefficients in the calculator. Okay, so we take any like terms that we have and we add their coefficients. So I have 2x and -4x. So I would take 2 and -4, and I would add them in the calculator, and I get -2x. Okay, the 6y did not have a like term, so I'm going to bring down that plus 6y after the x, because we always like to do variables alphabetical, so x first, y second. Then I'm going to add the 3 and the -8. They technically don't have coefficients, but you know how to add 3 plus -8 inside your calculator. And 3 plus -8 is -5. So we're going to write it as plus -5. But then anytime I see 2 signs in front of a number, like I do right here, a plus and a negative, we want to do reverse keep change change. So the -2x stays the same. And then we're going to keep the 6y. We're going to change addition to subtraction and change -5 to 5, so that this way there's only 1 sign in front of that number 5, not 2 of them. All right, so let's practice identifying like terms. 5x and tor y. Are they like terms? Take a second, think about it. No, they are not like terms. They're not like terms because they don't have the same variables. Okay? If you don't have like terms in an expression, then the expression can't be simplified. So we would say these terms are already simplified because I cannot combine them any further. Okay, the next ones, B, 3a and -6a. Are they like terms? Take a second to think about it. We would say that these are like terms because they have the same variable. And that variable here is a, and they have the same exponent. And that exponent here is 1. If we were trying to simplify them, we would add their coefficients, 3 and -6, and we would get -3a. That's the simplified version. C, 4x and 7x squared. Are these like terms? We're going to say no because they have different exponents. Remember, to be like terms, even if you have the same variable, this exponent has to be the same as this exponent. Because they don't have the same exponents, we know that these terms are already simplified. Okay, last but not least, 5 and 2y. Are these like terms? Here we're going to say no because they have different variables. Technically 5 has no variable there, and 2y has a y. So because they have different variables, you cannot combine them, which means that they are already simplified. Already simplified. All right, so on the back, you want to, like example 1, identify terms, like terms, constants, and coefficients. Make sure that you do keep change change before you identify any of those parts. And then after you've identified those parts, if you have like terms, you need to simplify the expression just like we simplified the expression in example number 1. Try your best. We'll go over the answers tomorrow and work more on combining like terms.